Howdy rock stars, Lid Shaw, and welcome to my live stream. In this video, I'm going to take you on a walkthrough of a really cool new instrument that I just got here in the studio called Life. And this comes in from XLN Audio. So let's jump in and take a quick look at this guy. So Life is a really cool app that lets you take your iPhone out into the real world with you and capture sounds when you're out and about. And then it's going to take all those sounds and break them up into samples and then bring them automatically into your studio so that it shows up as a plugin in your session and you can start making music with it. So it's like this instant instrument that kind of brings your experience out in the real world back into the studio in a pretty clever and cool way. And I learned about this when I was at NAMM. I was chatting with Dave Godowski there, and he hipped me to this. And so I went to XLN and took a look and thought I would show you guys what it does. And I think it's really cool, and it's a lot of fun. So again, very quickly, you can take your audio recordings, you can take your video recordings from your iPhone, you can use the app on your iPhone, and you can record 15 seconds of audio out in anywhere you want, and it's going to turn that and convert that into samples that you can make beats or loops out of, and whatever kind of style of music you want to make. So I have a little video for you where I basically did a little sample of that, capturing all the sound of my foosball table up in the house. So let me see if I can get that to play for you, and then we'll jump in and take a look at how this plugin works. Hopefully this is going to work over the live stream. Here we go. Okay, so what's cool about the XLN Audio app is that you can be out and about in the real world recording sounds, and then they'll be back in your studio ready and waiting for you when you pull up the plugin and you want to make some music out of it. So I'm up in the house right now. I figured I'd come over to this fun old foosball table that my kid insisted we had to have in the house. Sometimes it gets played, but we'll make some sounds on it and see if we can bring them over into the app here. You see, I was messing around with a couple of examples, but I'll do one for you right now. And then we'll take that into the studio and have it available for us. Now, there's a couple of different ways you can do this. You can use the video and import a video into the app right here. You see there's an import video setting at the top. There's also an import audio setting. You could also just simply record stuff with your voice memo app, which is really handy, and I use that all the time. So that's probably the most reasonable way that I would tend to do this when I'm out and about getting a sound. But so you can see what I'm doing, I'm going to use the video. So let me jump over to the video here, and we'll grab some sounds. Oh, you can also just record it right in the app. So if you want to, you can just hit that red button, and it'll record a 15-second loop in the app. Here, I'll show you what that looks like. So if you go like this, it's recording 15 seconds. You can make a bunch of sounds, do whatever. And then I'll stop it just so we don't waste time. And then you hit done, and it's going to upload it into the app. So I'll cancel this because we're going to do it a different way, importing something in. So let me go over here, and we'll hit record, and we'll make some sounds on this. I better have all my stuff ready because it's pretty quick. It's only going to grab 15 seconds. Ready, set, go. All right, that's probably good right there. Now I can take that video over and import it into the app, and we'll see if it pulls the sound out of it. So come on over to the app, hit this top left button, and you can say import video. And there's the video I just did. And I was pretty quick about it, but let's just see. If I press play on this, we'll see where it starts. So I probably want it a little closer to that start. There you go. So now I'll just use that much of it and import it in. And wow, that's fast. So then you can press play up here at the top and see what you imported. So you've got all those different sounds, and you can come up here and name it. So we'll call this vid to, whoops, because I actually did a test before this. Vid to foosball. I know you love the naming thing. Actually, let's try this. Watch this. You hit the dice, and you didn't even have to give it a name. That's so cool because I hate having to name stuff all the time. I'd rather have it called Exalting Sphere. That's awesome. And it's blue, so you can pick the color right there. And then you can pick one of these icons and decide, we'll make it the fart cloud there. How's that sound? And then hit save, and it's at the top there. You see it just saved it up to the cloud, Exalting Sphere. And then we're going to go back into the studio, and it's going to be cool. You're going to see that sound is already ready and waiting for us in the studio with some beats, and we can make more beats out of it. So let's go check it out. All right, cool. So I hope you enjoyed that. That was kind of cool to be able to just like play back the iPhone video. And hopefully the sound is in sync with the video. It's hard for me to tell over a live stream with the setup here, but we'll find out as it finishes up. And if you jump on this video now, drop a comment in and give us some questions. Let me know what it is that you might want to know about this. So let me flip over and I'll show you this real quick. This, of course, is their website where you can go get a copy of this. And one of the cool things about this is if you're catching this right now, this is actually on sale. So it's like, what is that? $89 rather than the normal $150. So that's a pretty sweet deal. Anyway, they kind of show examples of somebody walking on gravel and stuff, more examples in the studio. And then this is going to be what the app looks like. And so I'm going to jump in and we will see it on my screen. And then actually, before we get to that, if you're enjoying this and you want to get more videos from us here, go ahead and hit that like button because that actually really helps this video reach some more people, helps me at the channel, and I really appreciate it. And hit the subscribe button if you want to get more of these videos from us too. So here's the, let me go right over into Pro Tools now. All right, so here it is inside Pro Tools, and this is what it looks like when it just pops up and you install the plugin, or rather you open the plugin in your session. And the very first thing you're going to want to do is find that bit of audio that you just recorded on your iPhone out and about. So if you click on the presets area, then it's going to show you all the different recordings you've done. These are all tests that I've done in the past. These are like example ones that they sent us to check out. And then here at the top, here is that one that we recorded on the iPhone. And here's the name that it gave it, Exalting Sphere. When it's brand new, you see this says file not downloaded here. So you would just click on this and it would actually load that one in from the cloud from your phone. And I already did that for this one. You can press play here too and double check that it's, yeah, you can hear the sounds of the ball and everything. You can make sure that's the right one you did. Let me see if you double click it. I guess that's not how to load it. I think you just have to click outside of the, oh no, you hit OK over here. All right, there we go. And so now that one is loaded up. Now what's cool about this is the very first thing that happens is the plugin automatically assembles all the sounds and the samples into a beat for you, so you can just hit play and check it out right away. And if you notice here at the very top, it's taken the entire recording and it's pre-sliced and diced all the sounds into individual samples. And if I click on them here, you're going to hear them as well. So it finds all the transient sounds and automatically dices them up. We used to have to, always do this manually back in the day. And then along came tools like Recycle by Propeller Heads, I think that's who it was. And that would do some of this automatic slicing and dicing, and then it would lay it out on a keyboard for you so you could play them back. And it would also like line them up so it would play back seamlessly, but that was the original way to shuffle sounds around and change tempos and stuff like that. So it's pretty cool that it's all automatic now. I think it does more than that too. I think it actually takes the sounds and improves them. But let me show you how this works. So now in this one, it'll randomly sort of using the AI robots select sounds that it likes and put them into beats for you. So if I come on down here and I hit play on this, it's already going to have taken these highlighted ones and inserted them into a groove, and it will, and I'll turn this off so you can hear just the samples at first. So that's pretty cool, right? Right off the bat, you've got some sound going. You've got some kind of cool beat you could use to make music with. But let's say you're like, yeah, that's pretty cool, but we want to see what this is more like in the context of an actual four count beat. Maybe we're doing EDM or something like that, some other style. And so down here, there's an automatic kick track that you can include as well. So you click on this guy, and then you see this is like a grid pattern here. And I've just got 4 of these on the 1, 2, 3, 4. So it's a 4 on the floor kind of beat. And if you were to come over here too, I think these are the different drum sounds. Let's click on it here and see what we get. Now, if I hit play here, or maybe even here, you're going to hear the whole beat with the kick as well. And actually, I don't really know how to turn off the sampled stuff so you only hear the kick, but there's probably a way to do that. There, you can hear this beat coming from here, and you can also hear the kick from underneath. And okay, there you go. There's the output of the kick drum level. Yeah, so this is changing the sounds of the kick drum right here. And you can do auto. It just kind of picks one for you. All right, so that's pretty cool. So now let me do a little more walkthrough on this stuff. Also, if you've got this, I guess these are just different kick patterns. We can check those out. I kind of prefer just the 4 on the floor beat, the automatic one. So let me see if I can go back to that. Groovy. Now let me walk through what some of these things are, and I'll just kind of start at the top. You saw me use an iPhone video to capture the sounds. As I said in the video, you can also just capture it straight in voice memo and bring in an audio file straight off your phone into the app on the phone, and then the app uploads it to the cloud. Then the cloud downloads it to the plugin in the studio. But when you come in here, there's another way you can capture sounds too, which is, I'll pull this up so that you can see it. There's one called Life DAW Recorder. And I'm not going to open it because I don't know if it's going to create a feedback loop right now. But what you would essentially do is you use the DAW recorder as a plug-in slot somewhere else in a session or in an app on your computer. And then the DAW recorder becomes a sound feed, which comes over to this plugin, the Life plugin. And if you click this guy right here, then it's actually going to look for the DAW recorder as a sound input, and it's going to do like the, I guess, 15-second capture of audio right here. So that's pretty hip. So that way you can be composing cool ideas in your session while you're working, and then grabbing samples and building loops and beats. You could recycle cool parts of your recording. You could probably do a quick vocal recycle out of this. You could take drum performances, recycle beats and fills, take guitar stuff and just kind of resample it into whole new grooves. Now, and then you come over here, and then I think this is an import, which will look for files to import into your session. And that would open up as a Life preset, I think. Then you've got an export one here too, which wants to let you, define a path as for exporting all the sounds from your Life session that can then be imported into other apps. So that's pretty hip. Then you've got, of course, your presets area where you can go pick out all these presets like we already looked at, or rather, not the presets so much as that's where you choose the source audio. Then you've got a save beat here, and I think this is, again, going to let you name this particular beat, and you see it's got a color scheme that matches this wheel, so that would be the beat that you just heard. You can save it and name it right there, and again, you got the dice feature, so you don't have abortive cherish. So you don't have to bother naming a file. You can just use that. I love that kind of that little detail. That's great. But now we're in the beat area and we're making beats. You've got all these right here, which you saw. Now, let me think. Let me try randomize. And you'll see what it did is it already created a new beat here. And it's done a bunch of things all at once. It selected different samples off of here. all these guys, and it made a new rhythm, and it even chose a new tempo. You see down here at the bottom, it says tempo 88 BPM. So it actually picks a random tempo, random groove, random everything. I'm not sure about the kick. In my experience, it seemed to stick to this kind of pattern, although I think you can lock the kick right here too. But once you like a beat, if you decide, oh, I like that, then you can come over here and you can click plus, and I think it added this beat to that spot. And then you could just make a new random one. Oh, sorry, it probably saved it right there. Now there's a new random one that's in this spot, and then you come over here and you're like, oh, I like that one. So now let's make a new one over here. And let's see what it does when we switch between them. So I'm going to hit the play button down here. Okay. So it's totally accepting all the variations that we've got in here. So these can just be a way to save these beats as a short list, where if you've got, a few you really like that you just made, you can get back to them right here. Now, let me keep going down this. Let me go back up to this, and I want to show you how this is actually showing up so that you can make your own beats too. You don't have to use any of this automatic stuff. So let me go down here to my hand cam. And you can see the keyboard, and I've got the, this is my Native Instruments Complete, but you could have any MIDI controller right here as well. And now all those samples that are in the session, they're all laid out on the individual keys so that you could easily come in and play some cool beat. Which is really, really cool, right? So that means that it makes it super instant to just like grab something off your iPhone and lay it out on the keys and start making music. Now, I haven't quite explored how to record something that you play by hand into the Life app, but of course you could just be recording on your MIDI track in your DAW that way, and then do all your composing there, and then it'll play the Life app. And the Life app will probably sync what it's doing to the MIDI it's receiving as well from the DAW. So you could probably get a nice combination of stuff. But anyway, that's it. So the keys, of course, are laid out just like you would expect across the white and black keys for what you see up at the top of the screen. Then you got this short list here. I'm not sure what this is. I think that's just the title of this area. Like there's the source file window. There's the beat window. Then you've got this, which will play the beat. And you can see the way it does it is it kind of considers each one of these samples one of these colors here, so you can kind of see what it's doing, which is hip. You got this randomize button where you can randomize all your settings there and come up with a new beat really quickly, so you can use this to just try and find a starting point. And then here, let me go with a different one here too. All right, we'll run with this one for a second. We'll let it roll for a sec too. So now you come over here and you've got this sound variation, and this is going to change up the way all the sounds are. Which is really hip, right? So I like the fact that it's kind of subtle. It's not so drastic that you feel like it's not usable. It's more like if you had this on a MIDI control or on an XY pad or something, you'd have some great expressiveness to the sound, so you can just kind of perform this stuff more quickly. Then let's go over here to Browse, and Browse is actually going to be a whole collection of possible beats, I guess. So I think they're all just right here. Just whatever color you're like. That's all very cool, right? And then you can use the dice here again to pick a different one, but I kind of like that one right there, so we'll leave it. So I think this randomize is the same pair of dice that you saw on the other thing, and I think this will undo it. If you don't like your new random beat, it'll take you back to the old one. Then you come over to pattern variation, and it's going to give you all sorts of variations within that same beat. So I think it'd be really cool to have two different little joystick controllers or something. One that does this pattern variation, or XY pads, and then one that's doing this sound variation. And it's just messing with all the different settings. So then the next question is, what are some of those settings? So we'll jump into that too. But let me point out this here as well. You've also got density, which is going to be like how much sound action do you want in the beat? And you can go down and really minimize it more. I feel like the kick's probably a little loud on that one. So let me. Anyway, then you've got syncopation. I'll bring this back up to the middle. Right. And then this is probably much straighter. That sounds so cool. Sounds like delays are already on there, right? Then you've got symmetry. I don't know exactly what that means. So that one seems a little more subtle to me. But anyway, it's cool that you can make these variations and changes to stuff. Now, if you come down to the bottom, of course, you got a play button here. You've also got a play button in the center of this guy. Then you've got these lock symbols, which are laid out everywhere. And if you hover there, you see that locks it to the DAW itself. So if you want this to only press play when you press play in Pro Tools, now it does a couple of things. It locked it to Pro Tools. It also automatically locks the tempo to the Pro Tools session tempo. So if you start out unlocked, it's like you have this great creative tool. You're like, ooh, that's really cool. And then I guess what you would do next is if you liked a starting beat in Life, then you'd go up and you'd change your session tempo up here to match your tempo in Life. And then you could lock them together so that it like works from there on. Then you also have, I guess it's just the output level for the whole thing. Yep, that's master volume. That's great. Then you've got groove settings, so you can do some different grooves. Let's check out the swing settings. That's great. It's like kind of a reggaeton EDM groove, dance beat. Love it. All right, cool. Then pitched, I guess, is, let's see what that is. When disabled, slices will not be pitched. Right, so you might want to leave your sounds alone and not have them try and be in pitch. Okay, I'm not really hearing a difference much on that. So that must mean the slices I've got are, it doesn't care. And then also, you know, I could have sampled all the keys on the piano instead, for example. It doesn't have to be, you don't have to do everything that sounds like beats. You can do stuff that sounds like instrumental stuff, and you're coming up with like musical bits and parts too. Then you come over here to kick, and this of course turns the kick on and off. You've got the kick pattern. You've got the variety of kick patterns here, which I guess we don't really see them all as a list. So I guess you just click through and get it. Then you've got all these kick sounds you can choose from. And then you've got the kick output, and you can mute the kick right here. Is that right? Oh, no, this must be the output. Okay, great. It's outputting to the master of this whole thing. You can do buses plus the master. So you can do different buses if you want all these sounds to come out and hit your DAW differently. I haven't explored whether you can like automatically drag and drop stuff into the DAW. So I'll have to come back and look at that later. This is about as far as I got. I'm kind of figuring it out as I show you guys as well. Let me see what else I want to show you. Oh yeah, right. So then there's settings area. So now if you come up here, you see Explore is exploring the sounds options and the automatic loops and stuff. But when you come over and click Edit, now it breaks it down. You have this sort of miniaturized Explore window. And if I hit play here, still got all the stuff you'd expect, but you also, now this opens up this window of different sounds that are in here. So I don't know how it's exactly breaking all these down because it only shows me 4, but I see more than 4 up here. So maybe that's these different stripes, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, I think it is. So the first stripe would be, it's the outer one, and you can kind of see the white thing right there, and then you see it on the left. So that's the way that works. And then that gives you some control over these different sounds. So that's like high pass, or a high cut rather. And then here's a low cut or a high pass filter. Oh, and then you also have control. You can send more or less to the reverb. It's got built-in reverb right here. And you can choose what kind of reverb sound you have. You've got delays you can send each sound to, which is really hit. You've got an envelope where you can adjust the transient level. You can adjust the hold time. So it kind of gates the sounds for you to theoretically make them all a little more useful. And then you've got decay time on that too. And then of course you can program that on its grid, and it's got different A patterns and B patterns, I guess. And then nudging, you can put it behind the beat. So if you're trying to do more of that Jay Dilla kind of thing, and you want to like have late hi-hats and stuff, you can just easily do that right here, which is really hip, and put things on top of the beat as well. So that's pretty hip. So then you can come over here, you can mute it again. You can go to, I'm not sure what these 1, 2, 3, 4s are. Maybe those are the different sounds that it's using for each. Oh yeah, you just click on it and you hear the sample that it likes, and it's showing that up there. So that's really hip. So you can adjust all your sounds and get, you can change them up and kind of customize your beat. So that's super, super cool. Down at the bottom, you've got kit, which is the whole level, I think, and the pitch of the whole kit. You can send the whole kit to the reverb or the delay. You've got control over your reverb delay effects being on or off. You can change them, length of reverb, length of delay, tones, and then a master output. You've got a crunch. Look at that. Let's check that out as well. I don't hear a huge difference there. So, oh yeah, that's pretty cool. So it's subtle, I think, very subtle. There you go. That one's extreme. You can really hear that. So you can basically treat your sound. That's super cool. Oh, right. And then look, it's not affecting the kick. So the kick's its own thing underneath. You can do this. And of course, like, you know, this kick, I think, is meant to be a little bit of a placeholder. Like if you're programming a beat yourself in your studio, you probably want to have your own kick in the session. And then this is just going along with it. Let me stop this up there. And so therefore you can just turn the kick off here. You can kind of treat all your other sounds the way you want. You can start layering them. You can do whatever you want. So let's see. I think that's pretty much what I wanted to show you in here. I think this is super cool. I think it's like really fun to be able to just go out, take your phone, capture sounds. I was just downtown in Nashville and some kids were like drumming buckets outside and making beats. And I brought them in and I was like instantly making beats. I think the first thing that I ran into was just a little bit of a struggle, feeling like everything was automatically 4 on the floor EDM style, and I didn't want it to be, but looking at the kick option and realizing there's all kinds of different tempos you can work in. There's different fundamental grooves underneath. Again, I think I want to try bringing in an experiment where I record some acoustic guitar finger picking or something like that, slow stuff where individual notes get captured, and then let it sort of compose melodic things as it rearranges them for me. Really thinking outside the box where it's not just an automatic beat maker all the time. But I think this is really cool. And then one of the things I think would be really awesome if XLN does in the future is like, imagine if when you're out and about with your camera or your audio voice memo app, and there's a certain mood to the place, the original sound, it'd be really cool if it figures out a way to sort of capture that mood of where you were at and bring that back into the studio. Because to me, that's sort of the key for songwriting and real creativity, is like sometimes the studio can feel like a sterile place where it's like everything all feels the same, and you want to do something new and different. And that's why I like taking an acoustic guitar out into the real world to write songs, is because, you know, it's a chance to be inspired. And so I want to bring that same inspiration back into the studio. Again, if you guys are digging this, then I suggest you go over here to XLN Audio and check out their stuff. This is on sale right now, $89.40 at the time of this video. Not sure how long the sale is going to be going, but you might want to go check that out right away and start capturing some cool music out there. You see all these examples of people doing stuff with video clips. You can start taking old video clips that you've already shot and, like, you know, turn them into songs. And then if you enjoyed this video, please hit that like button and subscribe so that you can help us here at the channel and so that this video can come back to you and reach more people. And we'll see you guys around the studio. Cheers.